humanity is going through an evolution of realizing that we can no longer play the same game. Darkness helps us process things. This is why it's an area of privacy, right? Things that are, you can say, life-changing, things that are very like personal, things that are very intense. This is very Plutonian, by the way. Stuff like that. It doesn't matter what the astrology is. What matters is when we process it, right? This is why we're being called to do shadow work. So it really helps to integrate. You still get to choose, but it's totally fine where you are. By the way, you are eternal anyways, wherever you land up, or wherever you end up, wherever you land, it's totally fine. Know that it's okay. And you're supported no matter what. Hello and welcome back. I'm actually doing this on the same day as my previous video on the Stargates. But welcome to my channel. My name is Jose. For those who don't know yet, for those who are new to my channel, I am what I like to call a micro-astrologer, where I was actually I was guided to have these pre-downloaded information on specific asteroids, actually over 200 of them, and they continue to grow. The list continues to grow, and it's crazy how detailed my readings get because of them. That's why it's called micro. So, anyways, I have fun with them because they also branch out into other fields under disciplines of astrology. So, today I wanted to talk specifically about hopefully something not too political. I was just going into I got curious into like what, as Ismael Perez said in this one video. I'll send a link to below after this. All this stuff, look in the link below. What would happen if the war in Iran accelerates or escalates? That's what he said. His words were, if it escalates. So that the actual all warheads were predicted in his vision, in the vision he got, would be dismantled. Or I wouldn't say dismantled, but the word I got was dismantled. But what he said was, what was the word he used? Basically shut down, a complete like null and void, and just okay. So, and I was looking into it, and I was like, I wonder what that's like. So I looked into Mars. Mars rules weaponry and war and military and all that stuff. And so he's tied to weapons, but he's also tied to other. I also looked at the other things that might have been affected by it, but I was focused on Mars. So I'm going to be focusing on specifically Mars and what asteroids tie into dismantling or ending or stopping that kind of stuff, right? And I got specific dates. This is potential, okay? February 21 next year, 2027. March 12, 2027. April 12, 2027. January 9, 2028. April 12, 2028. January 27, 2029. And April 21, 2029. In fact, actually, it's happening right now. Any sort of potential a nuclear weapon or sort of like any sort of weaponry has actually most likely been stopped. And that's what I'm seeing in the charts. So I'll show you what the charts look like. Let's see here. Go with the names. Okay. Actually, there's one specific date. It's actually happening today. I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so they are in order. Okay, here we go. The first chart I see here is represented by right here. So what I noticed was that when it comes to divine intervention, this is actually also intervention related. I looked up Uranus right here. But Sedna is the one that's I think Sedna is the one with stopping, or one of them. Yeah, Sedna is the one with Uranus is the one with the weapons. So I think it's sort of tied to that, but there's something that's linked to that as well. Uh, who was? Yeah, so Uranus is the weapons because Uranus is about violence and revolution and all that stuff. But Sedna is the one who's like allows for it to stop. Um, and Sedna is like the farthest known war planet today. At least that's what I know. There's also, but these are also transits. So these transits you're seeing right now, you can see May 4th transit. That's showing me that this is more like a worldwide thing, but it is affecting Iran. That's where it's taking place right now. This is the chart of Iran. Um, there's also Atira and Alcesti right here. Atira Alcesti right here, conjunct. It's heading towards where the sun is. So when these transit over closer to the sun, that means governments are there's something that's going to be stopped. And it is Mars. So Mars ruled Aries. That's what it means. Okay. Um, but that's specifically with the country. So this isn't a world thing, but it is affecting them. So there's something external. So we have to look into the transits. Prometheus is also tied to stopping as well. Okay. This is a worldwide thing. You see this conjunction here. Hephaestus is retrograde, so that means that there's some sort of any sort of weaponry that's made, that's created hidden, and it's in the sign of Taurus. So that means totally it's also being done. At least when it comes to Iran, there's some people doing it in secret. This is the house of clandestine activities, and this is what's happening. Hephaestus is about building weaponry as well, but it's retrograde and it's in the 12th house, so that means it's private, it's quiet, but Prometheus is the intervention here. So something government systems is doing that. This is both worldwide and also in Iran. But this one is not clandestine per se. It depends. Here it's transiting the 12th house of Iran, so that means it's something to do with secret, covert activities. They're trying to be covert about it, but it's not going to work. That's my personal input. There's also the war stuff. Nephthys is also about stopping. This is more on foreign bodies right here, tied to the 9th house in Iran. Eros is interesting here, how I added Eros here. What was with Eros? Eros is also divine intervention. So that totally makes sense. Radegast is the one that's really about dismantling, and it's in Capricorn, so that means old systems are being dismantled. That's the explanation behind that. That's not totally makes sense anyways, because of what's been happening. And Thora is weapons, so that's happening in the world as well. Um, I don't know which ones will come first. I didn't double check the ephemeris to see which one's coming through. If Thora is applying and Radagast is going to be retrograde or it's going to be a low position, that means weaponry is going to come through there, and then there's going to be a conjunction showing me that it's going to be the systems trying to make some kind of weaponry or some kind of tool or whatever it is, maybe for the positive. Um, but Radagast is going to dismantle anything that is not of wholeness, not of expansive, not of unity, not of, right? You get what I'm saying? So there's also Typhon Angel. This is about worldwide stuff. Although it's in the sixth house, transiting sixth house of Iran here, this is going to be more about foreign relations, foreign bodies in foreign countries. Okay. It is transiting the sixth house, so that means that there's something kind of like something being built in service to something. Okay. In service to probably foreign relations, foreign agreements. It's in Sagittarius. It's actually in sixth house. So there's something about that for Iran, but internationally, sorry, the moon isn't part here. Um, it's still going to be most likely hush hush, but at the same time also hush hush dismantled. Okay? Small little neighbors, small little pockets of the world. Um, and maybe neighboring countries. This is the third house, so I would say this has to do with neighboring countries. Perun, Athanasia. Perun is weaponry, but Athanasia is divine intervention. So there's something happening here with this one. So maybe neighboring countries are also part of this. Maybe, I don't know, governments, it's tied to Leo. So that means that, but again, that's showing you that there's dismantling. The adults are here, as Bashar puts it. Okay. Varuna is also intervention. Penelope is also Penelope, I believe, is intervention. Nerthus is also intervention. So again, much of the intervention is coming in through neighbors, neighboring houses, neighboring places, neighboring cities. A lot of it's stuff going on in the world right now that's stopping these things. It's not going to go through, and I totally believe that. So the dates that are coming through here are, I'm just going to show you where it is. April 1st. Is it, did I say April 1? Was I right on this one? Interesting. Oh, okay. April 1. This is a big one. I'm totally made a mistake. I forgot April 1st. Oh, sorry. My bad. March 12, 2027. So next year. That I was right. So March 12, 2027. I thought I had the other date first. February 21, 2027. Let's go back here. That's 2028. February 20, 2027. There you go. So the order was just kind of messed up. So we have here Eros right here. It's actually transiting Mars. As for sure, this is a divine intervention right there. Going to be stopping those weapons. If that is the case, meaning if, again, going back to the whole thing, if the war in Iran escalates, that's showing me that there's a divine intervention happening. Okay. The next one was supposed to be February. Let me go back here. February 21, 2027. There you go. So what this is showing me is right here. Atira and Nephthys are going to be. It's almost like a double whammy. It's going like, no, here's the one. I'm focusing on Mars. The first chart I read wasn't Mars related. It was more general in the world. This one specifically in Iran. Okay. Then March 12, kind of saw that already. 2027, I'll show you Radegast, Thora. Okay. This is more government related though, but Radegast is showing that there's an intervention happening. And it's not retrograde, so that means it's full on. That one's a bit more obvious. These are just, again, potential dates of stoppage, if that makes sense. Okay, and then the next date is April 12, 2027. I did show you that one. Valentino, that's not the one. Eros, that's the one. I did show you that one. Okay, and then January 9, 2028. We have also Athanasia. Athanasia rules that. Athanasia actually is tied to divine intervention because there's something about it's related to eternal stuff. In Athanasia is the ancient Greek word for immortality. You can look more into that one, but Athanasia, based on my research, is tied to that. There's something about that one that was very interesting. So, okay, after April 12, January 9, 2027, no, 2028, the name I named for it was wrong. It's 2028 right there. Okay, I got that one. April 12, 2028. Valentine, that's the one I was showing earlier. I thought that was 2027. It's 2028 right there. And then January 27, 2029. Okay, Penelope will be intervening as well. Okay. Okay. And the last dates that I found as far as into next 2 years, because I want to go past 2028, but April 21, 2029 is the last date according to what I found, what I decided to choose to look for rather. right there. Okay. And Nerthus will be also representing stopping or divine intervention. Many of it is divine intervention. Okay, so I just wanted to go through that because I found this very important that that we're being supported and humanity is going through this change right now. Humanity is going through an evolution of realizing that we can no longer play the same game, at least not the last, I don't know, 12,000 years. So we're in this cycle, this full cycle that's happening right now, apparently. So I'll link the link below. You watch it if you can, the whole thing. For those who are into the short-term, short-form videos, that's totally fine. But watch this bits and pieces if you can. It's very informative. I love it. It's very cool. So we're just supported. You still get to choose, but it's totally fine where you are. Either way, you are eternal anyways, wherever you land up, or wherever you end up, wherever you land, it's totally fine. Know that it's okay. And you're supported no matter what. So whatever choice you choose, whatever decision you make, it's gonna it's gonna be okay. There's a reason for it. Try to always find the gold nugget in everything. The positive, you could say the positive, but it's more like the gift behind things, even if it's in the negative, but don't suppress the negative. But this is a reminder, even for myself, I tell myself like, what's the gift in this one? Even when I go through negative emotions and stuff like that. You can't resist the negative because they're there to give you lessons. But it doesn't mean that we need to abide by it. It doesn't mean that we have to go and go crazy with it. It just means we learn from it because it's negativity or the dark things or constriction is a natural function of being informed because it's tied to the ego. It's tied to the unhealthy ego, especially when it became unhealthy. Um, to process things, the area of privacy, right? Things that are, you can say, life-changing, things that are very like personal, things that are very intense. This is very Plutonian, by the way. Stuff like that. It doesn't matter what the astrology is. What matters is when we process it, right? This is why we're being called to do shadow work. So it really helps to integrate. It's time of integration, and as Perez said in the video, I'll link the two below just to let you know. I think it was his second video though. But ascension is basically integration. Is that what he said? So integration has a lot to do with shadow work. So um, it takes courage, and I understand it could be painful for many, especially when they post-pandemic life stuff. But I don't know. I've gone through a lot of my own ego deaths and trauma. I said in one video in my account and different on TikTok account, I said that it's not because I developed a thick skin. I learned to have a thick perceptivity. Yeah. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. If you have any questions, let me know. You know what to do. See you guys later.